So I think now we have Mayya Vu. Maybe, yay! Here is
Is
she.
she here? Yay! Awesome. I guess a lot of people have been
Great.
waiting
Can you
for
hear me?
know. Yes,
Yeah, we can hear you. How are you?
I'm pretty fine, thanks. How about you?
Well,
great.
thanks.
Uh, very excited to hear your talk. Actually, a lot of people are interested about your journey from software engineering, the challenges you face getting internship at Google. So, would really love to hear from you. And please, you can start anytime you want. Please introduce yourself as well, and just
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sure. Sure. I have a presentation, so I guess I will share my screen right now, and we can start. So, in case there are any technical issues or you cannot hear me or there are any like problems with the video or something like that, just ping in the chat and I hope host will let me know and I will try to fix it as soon as possible. So I hope you can see my screen right now. So hello everyone, I am extremely excited to be here with you. International Women's Day events are always very warm and friendly, full of inspiration. So I'm very pleased to be part of today's conference. So my name is Mayya, and today I will talk more regarding my the opportunities at Google and how I have used them. So, and by the way, today probably, it's like a spring equinox day. So which seems to be a very great day to start something amazing. So hope you will be very motivated and full of courage to create something amazing after this awesome event. So a quick agenda for my speech. So I will start with my own story, how everything has started and how I decided to apply to Google. Then some insights in terms of the application process and the internship itself. And if there are any questions, please feel free to navigate through the link, which I hope is visible right now for you. And you can ping some of the questions there or in the chat so that hosts can then after the event or after my speech share it with me and I can answer them. So yeah, I am Mayya. I am from Lviv, Ukraine. Currently, I am studying software engineering course at one of the Ukrainian universities. However, during the last few years, I was developing myself in more business-related positions in the digital product industry. Currently, I am working for Qubstudio on a position of a head of project management officer and client partner. Qubstudio is a product design and branding agency who have been successfully helping businesses on every step of their life cycle, from startups to enterprises. So I'm also an active Women Techmakers Lviv ambassador who have organized around like 50 different events. And in 2020, like last year, I had an opportunity to work as a business intern in a global customer solutions team at Google. So today, I will try to open some of the insights in terms of this page of my career. I'm sure that almost everybody had a dream to work for such a big giant as Google, but in the meantime, it always seems to be almost impossible. We think that you have to have a lot of experience, knowledge, and finally you should be like only software engineer to apply for Google and so on and so forth. And I had such thoughts for more or less whole of my life, to be honest. Google was a dream which may be achievable in several years or so on. And my story with Google started a few years ago, and it's related, and first of all, it's related to the communities. So let's start my story in like 2017. It was my first year of studying on a software engineering course, and to be honest, I was kind of like demotivated during that period, since I was not sure whether I needed to proceed developing myself as a software engineer, or whether actually the whole sphere is for me. So, or should I kick off something else or not? So that was really a main question to me. And the way software engineering was taught made me considering other options. So it was really very challenging. And at that moment, I was searching different like interesting events which might be in my region. And I have found an interesting conference called International Women's Day, telling our stories, telling our stories. That was a theme of that year. And it seems to be a really inspiring and full of really great speakers. And that was actually very first acquaintance with the Google developer group and Women Techmakers community. I cannot even like share how I was delighted to receive that invitation to that event. Even though the conference took place in the other city, I decided to go and at least try. It was an identical one to which is like right now where I am a speaker. So it was like International Women's Day organized by Women Techmakers Ukraine. So the event was literally inspiring with the awesome speeches, amazing atmosphere. I have met like lots of great women engineers who shared their career path. And now I can like surely state that that was a very important event in my career so far. And afterwards, I was traveling to various conferences organized by Google and others in a different countries, cities, and that helped me actually to form my own goals and ensure that courage to create at least my own life and career, understand which technologies, which positions I would like to approach. Here in the photos, that was Google Developers Days in Krakow, organized by Google. That was like a really huge event, surely very inspiring to me, a student. So yeah, it was that was amazing. And there is, by the way, a Budapest event as well. So I have visited like Budapest by several times, and heretofore it's one of my favorite cities of mine. And while traveling various countries, studying and meeting lots of great people, I have started feeling that importance and value of the community power. I have asked myself a question: shall I create something similar in my own city? So I have no knowledge in terms of community running, organizing events, so on and so forth. However, I have a great goal and awesome team to start something really important. So at this point, the Women Techmakers Lviv started. So that was an amazing experience of organizing lots of both technical and non-technical events, helping women to find their own path in the technological sphere. Our team has organized lots of different events, including workshops, conferences, meetups, and even parties. So I was honored to hear like lots of different stories of amazing girls who visited our events, and their feedbacks always inspired us to continue working and sharing Women Techmakers values to a bigger audience. That was like a very last offline International Women's Day, which had more than 150 people with 8 fascinating speakers from all around the world. And the community really gave me a lot of in terms of perceiving of my own like superpower to create something, to learn new thing, and always keep going. And while being a Women Techmakers ambassador, I had opportunity to attend like community summits organized by Google. And it was like an ideal chance to get to know Google and its values, meet organizers from our region, discuss the plans, and build the new one. And I had a chance to talk with the Googlers and discover all the opportunities there. So whilst the summits, I truly understand what is Google and that I do want to be part of that company. So from that point, I understood that Google was not a childish goal or something like that. It was an achievable goal. So I started from that point, I started to discover all of the opportunities and try to apply to that. So, firstly, I had a conversation with my friend who was a Google employee at that time. She's also a Google employee now. So she told me lots of interesting insights in terms of applying to Google. So I highly recommend to find such people and discover more insights in terms of Google opportunities. So it can be like ex-interns, such as me, for instance, or Google employees. Everybody is usually very friendly and they are open to help. So I talked to my friend, and she shared lots of different insights. And after that, I started to actually search that opportunities on a Google careers page. So it's like extremely simple. However, you should definitely start from searching some of the opportunities on a Google careers page to find the most interesting and relevant to your experience career. So at that point, I already decided to try not a software engineering opportunity, to try a business one. I decided it can be more challenging probably and more interesting in terms of my background at that time. So I decided to try my own skills and knowledge in terms of the business opportunities at Google, and there are such. So after that, there is application process. So once you're already familiar in terms of the position which you would like to approach, it can be internship, it can be probably a position, a full-time position. In most cases, the application process is pretty the same. There is only like several changes or things which are changed in terms of the interns application process and full-time employees. There is additional steps in terms of the interview process, but in general, the algorithm is pretty the same. So you can approach all of the advices which I will mention in the presentation in both of the approaches. So in terms of the application, first of all, you should definitely work on your CV. So I will not talk a lot of regarding that because I have limited time, but still you should be prepared in terms of your CV, and I'm very open to check your CV if you would like to apply to Google. So I always share that information to the audience on the events, that you can easily reach me out on LinkedIn, share your CV, and I can share my thoughts in terms of whether it's relevant or not. So if we are talking about internships, you should be definitely a student because that is opportunity for students. So you should be prepared with the university transcripts. Don't worry in terms of the grades itself. So in most cases, that is only as a confirmation of that you are a student. So just have that prepared in advance. Then in terms of your job experience, so you should be definitely sure that your background is relevant to that position. So if we are talking about the business opportunities, which is my case, my experience as a project manager, as a community organizer was a very relevant one. And if we are talking about business opportunities, the sales and marketing opportunities would be relevant as well. So if you had such of the positions in terms of the marketing, or you were GDG organizer and working with some of the Facebook events in terms of your GDG, or you were promoting events, or you were working on the marketing of GDG or something like that, it can also work. So don't limit yourself in terms of the experience. It shouldn't be only a commercial one. So it can be volunteer, it can be some of the universities experience. So everything works in terms of the field. So also you should like fill in basic info, and there is also a cover letter, but to be honest, nobody reads that. So you can not like fill in the cover letter. It's absolutely enough to state blank, since there are lots of different applicants and recruiters just do not read that. So you should not like spend your time on that. And definitely a great thing is referrals. So you can ask Google employees to refer you to a particular position. So it will be just a additional advantage for you, but of course it won't guarantee the next steps and that you will be proceeded to the next steps. But definitely it guarantee that your application won't be missed and it will be reviewed by a recruiter. You will be sent the answer. So yeah, it will definitely try to find a referral. So in my case, I had lots of friends from Google, and it was very easy for me. But I know my friends who were applying for internship, they were just checking the LinkedIn, finding some of the employees of Google in LinkedIn, and just asking them whether they can refer. And usually Googlers can just have a small call with you just to understand whether you are adequate or whether you have relevant skills to apply. But usually they're very friendly and they always help in terms of the referrals. So always try. And in terms of the application process itself, it's usually very challenging, to be honest, because you are always like thinking whether to apply or not, because it's Google, you will receive like definitely a decline or something else. In my case, I applied twice, and the first one was not that positive. So I received an answer that I was declined. So it was in 2018, and to be honest, I was really very upset because my CV was great and I had a referral, so everything seems really okay, and I should definitely receive the answer that I should proceed. But yeah, I received not. And in this case, you should not definitely give it up and analyze your application, analyze your CV. In my case, the problem was with CV, not in terms of the whole one, because I received lots of feedback from Googlers. I was just asking them to check my CV. They are friends of mine, and yeah, and they said that that's okay, but I understood that there was not enough like sales and marketing experience. So it was really important for me to rename some of the experiences, add some of the additional information in terms of experience, exactly in terms of the sales and marketing. And in next year, I applied in the same way. I applied with the same CV, just changed few sentences in that, and I received the answer that I should proceed. So definitely you should never give up. And to be honest, I was very upset in terms of that when I received the very first decline. And I applied the next year at the last day before deadline. So yeah, I was really very like unsure in terms whether I should proceed or not. And yeah, but I tried and actually received an offer in the end. Then how the interview process after you receive that dream letter that you can proceed, how the path looks like. So first of all, in terms of business internships, but actually for the software engineering, that is the same. The context of the interviews are not the same, but the whole path is absolutely the same. I know that software engineers have just additional, probably the timeline of the interview process can vary because they are they should have a time for confirmation in terms of the team. So in terms of the business internships, that look like that. So you will have the one interview with the recruiter, then two hangouts interview with the peer and manager. Then there will be a hiring committee. I will say something about that. And of course, if everything looks fine, you will receive your dream offer. So in terms of the first phone interview, it's pretty simple. So you should just Google all the questions, to be honest. So they will typically ask you why you decided to apply to this position, what is your motivation, something regarding your experience, and so on and so forth. So basically, I just Googled. I just were typing business intern recruiter interview and searching all of the questions, putting it in one Google document, and then after that, I just go through all of that questions and answer. And during the phone interview, I were prepared 100% because all of the questions were prepared in advance, and it was pretty easy. You should definitely think that every question should be every answer should be related to your experience, related to the position. So if you're asking about your experience, if you're asked about your experience, you should be definitely answering related to the position. So it's better to talk more about sales and marketing if we are talking about business internship, rather than some of the software engineering. If that is a software engineering position, definitely should cover some of the projects which are related to the technologies which that recruiter is seeking. So it's definitely something which is really like basic, but you should be aware of that and you should be ready. Then there is 2 Hangouts interview by peer and manager. Usually Google checks 3 main things which they are checking and asking that during the interview. So first of it is general cognitive ability. So what it is and how we can explain it in a very simple words. So general cognitive ability, it's something how you think. So they will try to evaluate your problem solving skills. They will ask some of the questions to understand how you work, how you will solve some of the typical situations which may be at Google. So for instance, there are 2 main parts of that. So that is like behavioral questions and hypothetical questions. So usually behavioral questions, that is something, can you please share a situation when you fail? Or can you share the situation when you succeed? What was your main successful story or something like that? So again, I just Google a lot of that questions. Glassdoor, such as a tool, helped me to find those questions. I asked my friends who have applied to business internship. Actually, I had that doc, so if you are planning to apply, I can share it with you. So definitely that was like a Googling a lot of things. But in terms of hypothetical questions, that is questions which do not have a particular answer. So you should definitely try to think and share just your thoughtful process. So for instance, the example can be like there is a t-shirt shop and they would like to grow by 3 times. What should they do? Or I was asked on my interview the question, what should be Google's next investment? So like that is like a very general question. So you cannot answer it without asking clarification questions, without trying to think about different opportunities, different directions, pros and cons of each of the answer. So definitely there is a pattern how you should answer on these questions, and it will be sent by your recruiter, and you should just follow that and try to share your thoughts and your consideration of the right answer to that. So at that point, Google doesn't want to check your thoughts in terms of the whether it's a correct answer or not. They just wanted to check how you think and how you analyze the situation and the problem itself. Then the questions will be related to the leadership. So usually they want to actually check how you communicate, your leadership style, how you can navigate through some of the problems, which can be internally or externally with your clients, how you work with the teams, your visions, how you can deliver results. So usually some of the examples of such questions are like, who's your role model, or what is your management style? So usually you can be also prepared with that by Googling such as leadership questions. And what is important here is to always get back to your experience and try to share some of the stories from your experience using a STAR technique, which refers to situation, task, action, result. So whenever you answer on the question, you try to describe the situation, what task you will be given, what was the action, what was the result. So it's like very simple, but it helps you to structurize your answer. Of course, there will be questions in terms of the role-related knowledge. And the final one, it's like regarding the Googleness. So it's kind of interesting thing. So Google say that they want to get a feel for what makes you well. And they want to make sure that the Google is a place you will thrive. So they are looking for signs around your comfort, your bias to action, your collaborative nature. So in most cases, that will be like some of the general question, but still that is very important thing, because they are trying to find a team player who will help to grow the team and to like receive a great result in the end. And after that, if you follow that like complicated long process, but still you will receive your dream offer. So it's not that like very complicated, but still it's challenging for sure. In terms of the Google internship and regarding the business internship opportunity, so I was a member of a global customer solution sales team. In my case, that was an agency team who maintains a focus on a customer success by bringing the best of Google has to offer. So I was working towards like strategic business goals while prioritization and delivering like outstanding customer experience to grow the customers' businesses. I was like communicating with those clients, conducting online consultation with customers to advise them how to get the best return on their Google Ads investment, because I was working with the Google Ads, and for instance with the app campaigns and etc. So the timeline of my Google internships looked like that. So first of all, I would like to say that it was remote, unfortunately, because previous year was a COVID year, as this year is always a COVID year. So everybody knows that we are in such a condition. So I had an onboarding first. I received a laptop, all of the important stuff to start working. Unfortunately, I was like waiting for that for a couple of weeks due to some technical issues on the border of Ukraine. But still, that was like a great to receive all of the technicals first. Then there was the internship was divided in several parts. The first one was related to the education. So I was really like searching lots of different and studying lots of interesting materials, information regarding the sales and marketing at Google, the businesses, how they approach, how they achieve the goals with the customers, what are the important things, and at the end and the end of that educational part, you should pass a Hibernia. It's like internal course. It's like internal certification, we call it. It's like a representation of the real call with the customer, but instead of the customer, there is your team, your manager, and they are checking your skills, giving you a feedback in terms of the how you performed on that call. And if everything was okay, they will like certify you, and you will be allowed to proceed to the next level. So you are allowed to work with the clients. So the second part was working with the project and activities and working directly with the clients. So there were like lots of different client speeches. So I was analyzing businesses of my clients, helping them to define the right business strategy with Google, how they can use Google products to achieve their business goals, and so on and so forth. Also, there were like lots of different projects internally in my team and externally with other teams. I had ability to go on various meetings of different teams, and what I really enjoy about that during your internship, the main goal is not just perform really well. The main goal is to understand whether you want to proceed with that particular team or to find another one. So my manager always states that I should try to discover all of the teams. I should find all of the opportunities which Google may have to me. So definitely that was a really very interactive journey. Those like 14 weeks, I have found so many interesting skills in myself, and that was really amazing. And probably when somebody asked me that what is probably the best about Google internship, I would definitely say that team was very supportive. And even though it was remote, and even though I was an intern, I never like had a feeling that I am an intern or something like that. I was feeling that I am a part of the team. I am a member of that. I have a goals. I achieve that. I was always in all teams activities, and that spirit of very friendly atmosphere, supportive atmosphere, really inspires and really help you to understand that you really want to work there then. And also what is very interesting about Google, that they have lots of different merch which is sent to you as an intern. So they were like sharing a lot of interesting things, swags, and you can see like that is in an Android. Here it is with me as well. So that was an Android in a work from home kit, like with the pajama and laptop, coffee. So it's kind of very interesting thing. And also a small cap for nucleus and interns, which is also a great tradition. So I guess that's all for today. I hope that the talk was insightful and interesting for you. Of course, there is a limit in time, and I would be very pleased to talk more in terms of the application process, because I have lots of information how you can be prepared, especially when it comes to business internships. So yeah, thanks so much for that opportunity, and hope that was really helpful for you, and you will apply for Google and receive then your dream Google offer. So yeah,
thank you. That was so interesting, especially the final part with the gift. It was so cute.
Wow, just that journey, that a lot of detail. Thank you so much, Mayya. I've actually listened to talks as well, and every time it's really interesting for me, and more details there. So thank you so much. I'm sure a lot of people find it useful as well. We do have people here who have applied to Google. We have who has applied for software developer internship, and Charles says I applied a lot. So,
yeah.
I think it's a common thing, I guess.
Yeah, you should never give up in terms of that, because really it's not that easy to go through this really very complicated journey, but it's definitely worth it for that. And I would like to say that there is my contact, so you can reach me out on LinkedIn or in Twitter, in Facebook. So, Mohammed, and that was, I remember we were on a developer student club summit, I guess, together, and I was was sharing some of the Google internship insights as well. So I can say that you can always reach me out in social medias, and I would be very pleased to help you to apply, to check your CV, and and wish you luck definitely. And thanks so much for invitation. And talk to you soon, hopefully.
And before we close it, Maya, we have one question.
Of course, if we have time
for
that.
Christina saying, in relation to the job experience for software engineer, do you have to have experience in the specific area of the position, for example, AI, machine learning, or general area, like enough?
So I would definitely recommend to specify some of the specific areas of the particular experience. So whether it's like machine learning or artificial intelligence in your CV. So just list down your project, for instance, and specify it. But while in the meantime of the interview processes and application processes, you will be asked general questions as well. Usually it's algorithms and data structure. So, but that information will help to form the team. So after you will go through all of the interviews, you will be matched with the team. So based on your experience, it will be easier to do that. But definitely, if you're applying to the position, there will be some of the details in terms of the for instance, it will be great to have a knowledge of Python or C++. So you should definitely check that first. But
Shegmon saying, do you need to be a superhero to be accepted?
Kind of it, I guess. You should be definitely very patient, because really for me, interview process and the application process took 1.5 months, so it's something very, very quick. But I know lots of students, friends who were waiting for half a year or something like that.
And how would it be to work for the company for you? For Google.
That was, as I have mentioned, that was really amazing experience, because really that is a giant company, and before that I had experience only in the small companies, up to 100 people. So it was really something interesting and challenging at the beginning. But what was I was amazed that about one thing, about how Google tried to accommodate to the COVID conditions. So actually, every intern and every employee can set up the coffee chat with any of the employees all around the world. So it's it's really interesting, because I was searching on the internal platform of Google for employees, and I can set up the coffee chat. Also, there were lots of interesting activities, cooking together with other employees, or yoga, or other interesting activities. So not despite all of the working activities, of course, but still the atmosphere was really very great, and I can just imagine how it's when it is offline.
We have David. Take it, please, Toi.
No, you can't do it. It's okay.
I see it just a note in terms
we had
of the.
From Christina, and so Maya answered. So we have David, also from Google, who's adding to what Maya said. There are certain roles where specific experience AML is necessary, but there are many positions which is not required. So that's a position for you, Christina.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, Maya, again, for a very, very interactive actual presentation and so much detail getting into, like, from application to interview to actually being an intern at Google. I'm sure that was very useful, as Charles says as well, useful, and a lot of insight into it. So thanks, and we will be continuing. We'll be waiting for everyone at our interactive session on Google Meet. So everyone, let's stay tuned. Let's stay here. We have one more session, and then we'll be switching on to Google Meet, so you can all ask your questions directly. So thank you, Mayya.
Thank you as well, and yeah, stay in touch. And in any case, you can always reach me out in social media. So I will be very pleased to help. Thank you. Have a lovely day, and we will meet down in another link. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye bye.